Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Public Cloud Design Tips and Tricks. In this channel, we generally discuss about public cloud design problem statements and their related solution. Today, we are going to discuss about Azure Data Factory Integration Runtime. So, what is the problem statement? Let's try to understand the basic fundamentals of integration runtimes with Azure Data Factory. So first of all, what is Azure Data Factory? It is nothing but a managed and serverless cloud service that builds for these complex hybrid extraction, transformation and load capabilities. So if you want to do some ETL, ELT and data integration projects, then you can use Azure Data Factory as your solution. Now let's try to understand what is Data Factory Integration Runtime. If you see in this diagram, which I have extracted from a Microsoft document, so generally in Data Factory you have triggers which will trigger your pipelines. Pipelines is consisting of activities. That means you want to copy the data or transform the data, and those activities has been done over a linked services. That means from a data source. Here in this case, the data source can be a blob storage, can be your database, your Synapse Analytics, Azure SQL databases, and also few linked services. That means you also can browse it from HTTP links. Now how it works? It works like the data will be extracted to data sets, and over those data sets you do certain activities over the pipeline, and the trigger or scheduler will do the necessary trigger towards the execution. An integration runtime provides the bridge between the activity and linked services. That means over the activities and linked services, you to process these activities over a compute, you need to have an integration runtime. Okay, so let's try to understand different types of integration runtimes. So there are three types of integration runtimes which has been provided by Azure Data Factory. One is Azure managed, second is self-hosted, third is Azure SSIS. So what is Azure managed? It is the kind of integration runtime which has been managed by Azure, and with this integration runtime you can have data flow capabilities, data movement capabilities, and also activity dispatch capabilities. It also supports a private link endpoint. That means with Azure managed services you can have a managed VNet, and over managed VNet you can have the connectivity to the data sources. That means your SQL database or Azure SQL database or Synapse Analytics or storage account via a private link endpoint. Second is self-hosted. As you understand, self-hosted means you have to host the runtime by yourself. That means you can provision it on your own data center or over a compute where or a virtual machine where you are going to install the integration runtime. With self-hosted type, you can have only data movement and activities dispatch. It doesn't support data flow, and also it supports private link endpoint integrations. And the last one is Azure SSIS1. SSIS1 is also being managed by Microsoft Azure, and we will cover about Azure SSIS and self-hosted in the successive videos. So today we are going to focus on the Azure managed integration runtime. So first, Azure integration runtime activities. What are all activities that you can do? So you can do a run data flow in Azure. You can run to copy activities between cloud data source. That means you can think about you have a data store in blob storage and you want to transform the data from blob storage towards a SQL database, or you want to copy the data from one blob storage towards another blob storage. Then in that case you can leverage Azure integration runtime activities. It also helps you to dispatch the following transformation activities over public network. That means .NET custom activities, Azure function activities, Databricks notebook, jar, Python activities. These are all, most of these capabilities can be supported with respect to dispatch activities towards Azure integration runtime. So you can see the main charm of Azure integration runtime is mostly copy data or data flow activities. Okay, so now let's try to understand what are all different type of integration runtime with Azure managed one. One is Azure Data Factory global integration runtime. That means if you try to understand, it can be produced globally, it will be managed by Azure itself. You do not have to take care, you will not get the information regarding the network and anything. It will be completely managed by Azure and taken care by Azure. And second one is Azure Data Factory integration runtime with managed VNet. That means you can define, okay, there should be a VNet where your Data Factory integration runtime run, so that you can connect securely to the PaaS services or your data stores, especially the storage account, SQL database, over a private link endpoint. So we'll try to cover that. So it is nothing but an existing global integration runtime which cannot be switched to an integration runtime of Data Factory managed virtual network. So if you are creating a global integration runtime over Azure Data Factory, you cannot switch back to integration runtime with managed VNet, or the vice versa also. If you create a managed VNet integration runtime, you cannot switch back to global integration runtime. So let's try to understand the integration runtime with managed VNet. It is nothing but, as you understand in this diagram also I have extracted from Microsoft document. So Data Factory is the PaaS services which sits in public area. That means the command and control plane sits in the public area, and the integration runtime where you are defining it should be a managed one, that is sitting inside the virtual network. That means which has also been managed by Microsoft Cloud. So in this ADF managed virtual network, you can see the command and control plane gives the instruction towards Azure integration runtime, and from this integration runtime via a private ADF managed private endpoint, you can interact with your data stores. That means your Azure storage account or SQL database, and the connection is completely secure. That means via the private link endpoint, so no public access is here. And also, as you are using private link endpoint, your data stores are also secure. That means it cannot be accessible from internet. In this way, you can realize integration runtime with managed VNet and secure your data in the private network. So that is the power of Azure integration runtime with managed VNet. So then again, these are all data that I have covered by following this link. In the next chapter, we are going to discuss about self-hosted integration runtime and SSIS integration runtime. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to know more about it, please follow the video link in the description, and you can find all the details in Microsoft document. Thanks for watching.